Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The first victims from the deadly wildfires that swept Maui Island last week have been identified by officials. Maui's police department named the first two victims as Robert Dykeman, aged 74, and Buddy Jantok, aged 79, both from the town of Lahaina. The death toll from the fires has now reached 106, with around 1,300 people still missing. Hawaii's Governor Josh Green has said it is likely to take several more days for authorities to reach an accurate figure for the number who have died.
I spoke with the President this morning. We speak often. He and Joe Biden extend their absolute love and heartfelt regrets about the tragedy that's occurred. They're heartsick that we've lost these 101 souls. They will come to be with us. If President Biden could just teleport himself over, he would have come here in 5 seconds. I've never seen such dedication in a president who within 6 hours dedicated his time to determine that this was an emergency and to commit full repair, full reconstruction for our people here in Hawaii. So President Biden and I will work out a time for him to come when the tough work is done, when the heartbreaking work is done on the ground, finding those we've lost.
Lithuania says it will close 2 of its 6 border crossing points with Belarus because of geopolitical differences with its neighbour. The country's deputy transport minister told a council of ministers the news just weeks after Russian Wagner Group mercenaries took refuge in the neighbouring country. The 2 rural checkpoints will be shut from Friday, with traffic diverted to the largest of Lithuania's 6 entry points. Vilnius has voiced repeated concerns at the presence of Wagner troops inside Belarus. Niger's Junta-Appointed Prime Minister Zeine has taken his first visit to a foreign state on behalf of the military council that seized power in a military coup last month. Zeine, whom military leaders appointed Prime Minister earlier last week, met with Chad's President Mahamat Deby, who staged his own coup in 2021. Western powers and democratic African governments have called for the coup leaders to reinstate the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum, who they have detained since July the 26th. But the military leaders have refused and rejected attempts at negotiation. North Korea has said that the US soldier Travis King told them he crossed into its territory last month because of inhuman maltreatment and racial discrimination in the US Army. The 23-year-old private dashed across the border from South Korea on the 18th of July while on a guided tour. Private King admitted to crossing illegally and wanting refuge in the north. Washington said it could not verify the claims, which are Pyongyang's first public comments on the case. Wildfires have swept through Canada's Northwest Territories, forcing people to evacuate their homes, almost totally destroying one remote community. Emergency vehicles were dispatched to contain the blazes and a state of emergency. Meanwhile, emergency services battled a wildfire that broke out in a national park on the Spanish island of Tenerife. Eyewitness footage showed wildfires burning atop a hill on the Spanish island. Heavy rain has led to swollen rivers crashing through western Japan following the landfall of Typhoon Lan that brought heavy rain and powerful winds across a wide swathe of the region. Videos posted on social media showed the muddy brown torrents in the swollen Saji River in the western Tottori prefecture, which caused roads to cave in by the riverbank. Typhoon Lan, approaching from the Pacific Ocean, made landfall on Tuesday morning, some 400 kilometers southwest of Tokyo. And police in Ohio in America have released video of officers helping a raccoon who had his head stuck in a jar. A helpful police officer's body cam captures a raccoon running around in circles with the jar covering its whole head at a petrol station.
We're gonna help you, buddy. Hold on. It's okay, boy.
A fellow officer then comes over to hold the raccoon whilst the other pulls the jar off the animal, who, once free and able to see again, scuttles away at speed. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.